Welcome to Drum and Drummer, a podcast focused on drums, drumming and drummers. I'm George Pickering and that's Ben Winty, and we are both professional drummers in this business we call music. So stick around and join us as we pass the time whilst trying to stay in time.
I don't want anyone to dip their knob in my cheesecake.
Sometimes
There's
I feel
the episode
like,
title.
yeah, I was going to say, so that you say things just to be the audiogram.
Welcome to Drum and Drummer.
Welcome. It's just us.
It's just us. I'm Ben Winty, and sat opposite me on the Zoom call is a man who's given up his dreams of becoming a drummer and has started a full-time job.
Yeah. I wouldn't say that.
No?
I'd say giving up his life of being broke all the time and not knowing what job he's doing. But I am doing I've done my training. Do you want to discuss the training?
How's it gone? Because we've not really spoken.
No. Well,
for a few
as
weeks.
it stands, as of today, I've done a week's training and then 2 weeks in the job. Let's talk about the training this week. And, we can discuss the job at another time because the training itself had some hilarious moments. So
Sure.
basically, I...
Just remind us what the job is.
Well, the job is in a children's home and I'm a residential support worker.
He's
But
been
that's-
checked.
I've been checked.
He's on the good register.
Exactly. But I won't say anything. I won't, obviously talk about the job, like what goes on, because that'll be
closed doors.
the safeguarding
way the church
nightmare.
like it.
That's gonna get me fired if they ever find this. I'm worried that they're gonna find this. I feel like should we cut that out? Don't know. We can cut that out. Where were we?
Training.
Okay. So training.
I'm leaving this all in, by the way.
No, because what if they find it?
They won't.
They might. They're
You've not
savvy.
named where it is. You've not named the company. You've not named
No,
any.
but-
You're not going to name any people.
But they've got my name, And
Yeah.
if they Google that, drumming podcast, and then you'll write a little description. It'll be like, George has started a new full-time job, and I wonder they won't be like, Jay Sakura, I'll listen to that one. They're gonna go full-time. Let's
Well, they
see what he
should.
says.
They should, because that was a great interview.
They should. It was a good interview. But all right. So the
All
training.
right, I'll make you feel better.
Okay,
I'll
go
make
on.
you feel better. So I got an email at the studio from a guy he said, my 12-year-old son is really into drumming. He loves drumming. We'd love to maybe get him in the studio,
Yeah.
have experience. And so I was like, well, he just plays along to his favourite songs. And so I said, well, actually, he said in his email, he wrote quite a long email with a lot of explanation, which is great.
Yeah.
He said at the bottom, sorry for the long email, but I've just listened to your studio podcast
Right.
where you ask for a lot of info, and you mentioned about people asking for a fence. You need to ask questions back, like, well, how
Yeah.
big's your garden? What
Yeah.
colour do you want? All that sort of stuff. And he said, that made me laugh because I was a landscape gardener. And I got in touch with him and we arranged to meet. And I said, I have another podcast about drumming. I said, but...
He wasn't even talking about this podcast. He was talking about your mix.
Yeah, because he was asking about the studio stuff. I
He's
said...
bigger than me up.
I said, actually, come in for a meeting. We can have a chat. And but I said, I also have another podcast. It's about drumming. It's a weekly thing, and we talk about all things drums. And we've had loads of great guests on. Like I said, your son might be a bit young for some of the language.
Yeah.
And he said, we'll give it a listen. I'm sure he's quite mature for his age. He won't mind the odd F-bomb.
Right.
I'm thinking, well, there's a couple of C's in there as well. Maybe.
And worse, but we edit it out from other guests. We won't say
And
who.
then they came in. I met them yesterday, and we talked everything through. And I said, we've got drum kits here. He can use. He said, your purple sparkly one. And I was like, someone's been listening.
Yeah, someone has been listening.
Yeah. So we're, I regretted telling them about the podcast
Yeah.
because it's like, this kid's 12. Maybe he shouldn't. But this is what happens when you put yourself out there, George.
Well, do you know what? This is genuinely the problem because we were talking about it yesterday at work saying, if you haven't made your accounts private on social media, do it. And I was like, my accounts are not only open, but I talk on a public platform for at least an hour once a week. So, yeah. But anyway, let's talk training, because there's something that you will love about training. I think so training week was exactly how you'd imagine a work training week to be. We have to do 2 weeks training, and I'd done this first week, and it was at a hotel in Worthing, and you turn up at 9 or whatever, and you have a cup of tea, and then you go in. And on the first day, the guy, he wasn't really David Brent, but there was a few moments, like one, he was like...
Did he go get the guitar?
No, it was better than that. He goes...
She's the serpent who guards the gates of hell.
Racial. So he goes, sometimes humour can help de-escalate a situation. And he went, laughing. Sometimes it doesn't even have to be something you find funny. You can just start laughing, and then that will make, like... And I was like,
everybody,
oh my
let's
God.
laugh.
Yeah. I was like, I'm in the office. And then he starts laughing to himself, but no one was joining in, And I was like, this is...
How many people were doing the training?
I want to say 15 to 20 people, all from different backgrounds and ages and stuff. I wouldn't even say I was the youngest there. There was a few younger people, but a few very much older people. But it was just funny. Do you know what it was like? I'll say one more thing about training, because we've got a lot to discuss. I found whenever I turn up to anything ever in my life, I always think, I bet everyone's going to be really professional and amazing at this thing. You start uni and you're like, I bet everyone's going to be the best drummer in the world. And then you realize, no, actually, they're all not, or you start a new job or anything like that. It was a bit like that. And I was thinking, I bet everyone knows all the stuff already and stuff like that. But they really didn't. And on Tuesday night, we all went for drinks, and at least a few of them just called in sick for the Wednesday training because they were hungover. And I was like, oh my God, this is just, this isn't good, But yeah, it was the weirdest part.
Well, just think how many people at school got D's and E's and they're out there working, trying to, sorting out mobile phone contracts, paying their gas bill. It's a wonder that some of them manage.
Well, yeah, and you and I have talked about this before, and I try not to say it in a rude way, but people that have houses and mortgages, and then you meet them, and you go, "You've got a house," like.
Well, I think sometimes you can feel like you're trying. Life has a lot. The more you get older, the more you have to manage, the more you have to do.
Yeah,
there's just loads of stuff, and sometimes, and especially if you're running your own business, self-employed, that adds a lot of extra admin to the plate. And sometimes it's like overwhelming at how much you have to do to just keep going, to just keep on top of everything. And then, not in an arrogant way, but you think, like, I'm quite organised and I'm quite on top of this. And then you think, but I don't think everyone's like this. So how are they getting on with it?
Yeah.
If I feel overwhelmed, but then is there just ignorance is bliss? They just don't give a shit, and they just bumble their way through, and they're fine.
Yep.
But I'm like, I've got to make sure that thing's right, and this, I don't know. You know what I mean?
You are very organised. That is.
And
true.
so you're like training. Okay, right, I've got to do this training. Blah blah blah. And people are just calling in sick halfway through because they had a couple of pints.
Yeah.
You're like,
people turning up late.
I thought I was. You were probably worried you were going to be the shit one.
Yeah, and people sat on their phones while the guy's talking the whole time, and I was like, all you got to do is listen, and be like, oh, are we finishing early today? Why are you asking if we're finishing early? We finished at 3 yesterday. We're meant to finish at 5. Is 3 not early enough? So yeah, it is a bit weird. But the weird thing was, it was a 9 to 5 week. The job that I'm doing isn't 9 to 5 hours. It's all over the place. But training was, and I got on the train at 8 a.m. with all the other people that get the train at 8 a.m. And I went, oh, this is it. I'm in the machine now, And we all got off at Worthing, and we all walked to our separate jobs, and then got on the train again at 5:30 or whatever. And I was like, oh, wow, this is how...
Did you see some of this? I used to see when I used to get the tube to work in London, see the same people, get the same tube. Did you did you get a few little nods in? Right?
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Were they all like, oh, there's a newbie?
This is it, yeah. What's he doing in my seat, But no, it's good. Yeah, you went to Vegas. I'm bored of talking about myself. I'll talk about the job next episode. I can't talk about it all.
Right.
You went to Vegas.
I went to Las Vegas, yes. Very good.
Yeah?
Had a very good time.
What questions can I ask?
I can tell you, it all went incredibly smoothly.
Yeah.
Just apart from the journey out there.
Well, let's hear about that. Because I don't want to hear smooth stuff.
We would stop over in LA.
Nice.
Just for a couple of hours.
Yeah.
But immigration took fucking ages. And it was like, we ain't going to make the flight to Vegas.
Yeah.
And then you start to get that panic. Like, do we just suck it up and go, okay, well, this is the situation. We'll just sort it out when we get through. Or do you go, do you know what? I think I might need to say something to someone and go, look, we got another flight.
Yeah.
Can we? But no one likes a queue jumper.
No.
Do you know what I mean? And I was in a band called Gypsy Hill with a bunch of Israeli guys. They don't queue. If we were running late, they'd just push through. And they did not give a shit.
What, the Israeli guys or the immigration people?
The Israeli guys. They just go through going, we got a flight to catch. And then the other half of the band, British, being like, sorry, excuse me, sorry. Feeling incredibly good. They didn't give a fuck. But then we spoke to a few other people in the queue, and loads of people were going to Vegas. So everyone was fucked, basically. Yeah. But one family were like, oh, we come here every year. Like, there's flights every hour. They'll just stick you on the next one. I was like, okay, that's cool. But there was another guy on his own who was like, I'm going to miss a flight. And so he took it upon himself to go straight to the front. And this was a big queue. And you're like, is this guy doing the right thing?
Yeah.
Is he like, yeah, fair play? And he looked really worried about missing that flight. And then he got to the front, and the woman who was telling people which desk to go to just went, go back to where you were.
Wow.
Yeah.
She saw him.
They were not having any of it.
Oh, brilliant.
And they were like, we'll get you on another flight.
Yeah.
You can't. And he got sent back.
Amazing.
And it was just that thing of going, oh, okay, made the right decision to just stick in the queue. And then, they were like, oh, there's another flight in an hour. Just stick you on that one. Job done. Other than that, it's very good.
Fantastic. Favorite casino game?
It was just a slot machine called Wheel. It was like a Wheel of Fortune slot machine. Didn't gamble too much apart from the last day, and a little flutter. And,
Wait, when you say little flutter, like as in more than you would have thought you would gamble, money wise? Okay, I won't ask the number, but I'll try and think of like objects that it might equate to. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Could I bought a new ride symbol? Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Could you have got a new kitchen fitted for this amount? No.
Definitely not. No.
About it for questions.
It wasn't in the grand scheme of things. It was someone would have lost double that in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
That we lost over the course of a whole week.
Yeah.
But this game was just so much fun. It was classic, like One Arm Bandit. It's all digital. But biggest prize, won 101 spin, mate, $180.
Wow, well done.
One. Ka-ching. It went mental. The machine was like ding, 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 ding. I was like, yeah. But there's also like roulette. A bit scared to go to the tables, like the proper tables.
Yeah.
But they have this roulette. It's digital machine, but they have a real spinny thing with a camera on top.
Yeah, I've seen them.
Live. Yeah. Did a bit of that.
Well, I went to casino the other night, and those camera ones are weird because they're filming from a real table, but it's like in Birmingham or something.
Oh, right.
But I was watching someone play on the real table in Brighton, live, and it was only my second time at this casino, and this guy had, I don't know, let's say 20, probably 30 chips, and when they span the thing, he just went and put a chip on every single number. And I was like, what do you even I don't know. Like, I don't know the rules at all. So, like, I understand if you put it on black and it goes on black, you get some money. But beyond that, it's like, I don't know. But we were watching him. But the speed he had to do, and he's sort of, he's how much more time have I got? But he did it every single game. And I was like, is this a good tactic or a mental one? But yeah. But who knows? I got a quick aeroplane story to go back to your one of people being late and whatever. Did I tell you about when I went to Barcelona and I was coming back and there was I was waiting for my plane back to Gatwick or whatever, and this guy comes running around the corner and he goes, "Oh, have we missed our flight?" No, that was it. It was a plane going to Glasgow. He goes, "Have we missed it?" And she was like, "It's literally, we're boarding now. We're going to leave in 2 minutes." He was like, "But you can't. Like, I've got 30 kids round the corner all going on this flight." She was like, "I'm sorry, but like the gates are closed. Like, we are boarding now." And he was like, you've got to wait. And suddenly everyone in my queue to go to Gatwick was just watching, like, what is going to happen? Because you're so bored in a queue. You're like, oh, can we just get on the plane? Suddenly, all this drama kicked off, and suddenly no one wanted to get on our plane because we were like, no, I want to see how this pans out. And I think half the kids came around the corner, and he was like, you got to let us on. They're like, I'm sorry, like, the gate's shut. That's it. You know. And then more kids came around just as we were getting on the plane. We were all sort of like watching, like, is he gonna? And then I got on my plane and I was sat at the back, and a passenger got on like 5 minutes later, and he goes, "Just so everyone knows, they didn't make it on the plane." And it was just like brilliant, because it was like everyone was like, "Oh shit, I want to see the end of that." But imagine that 30 school children didn't make it back.
You sometimes hear on there, like, you're waiting at the gate and you hear like, this is a last passenger call, and they specifically name the passenger. Yeah. I'm always thinking, what's happened? Like, what are you doing? Your one job at that place is to get on a plane.
Yeah.
I
think a lot of people are
Dixon's is appealing, shopping Dixon's, get yourself a new pair of headphones, but what's going on? It's
selfishness and it's arrogance and it's, it won't leave without me. I think there's a bit of that. Sometimes, obviously, people are, I don't know, the taxi didn't turn up, or like there's things, but I think. But then that means
they haven't. Yeah, I don't know. I guess
not everyone plans their life as well as you, Ben.
True.
That's basically what it is. Should we talk some drums? Seeing as we're 20 minutes in, we
can't do. Yeah, one Las Vegas thing.
Yeah, go on, because we haven't really discussed much.
I hired a Mustang.
Yeah, I saw your pic.
Yeah.
Saw your picture.
Yeah, just for a day.
Is that a throwback to when you did that when you were like 20 or whatever?
Yeah, I always like to drive a Mustang in America. That's my little, I think I've mentioned this before, it's my little carrot on a stick in life that one day I'll own one. And, better to drive one out in the desert of Nevada than South Sea.
Yeah.
But the day we got it, we were going to go to do like a scenic drive around the Red Rock nature sort of scenic drive. It was bloody shut because it was snowing.
Wow. What, in the desert?
Yeah.
That's mental.
Yeah. So like all the other days, it was not warm, but it was really sunny and bright and dry. And that day, bloody really thick snow on the, not in the strip, but as soon as you went out, bloody snow everywhere.
Wow.
But they opened it up in the afternoon, so we went back and did it.
That's all right.
Yeah, like got out of the car and I was like, I'm walking through snow.
Yeah.
But earlier I was walking on desert plains. Now I'm in snow. Ate lots of good food.
Yeah.
Had this like buttered chicken on waffles with like syrup.
Yeah.
That was good. And I had my favourite lunch, Panda Express. Fast food. It's fast food Chinese.
Cool.
Had that for lunch one day. Really good. Went to a Marvel Avengers exhibit.
Of course you did.
Went to see Penn and Teller.
Yeah.
That was fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, I bet.
So good.
Was that it was a residency?
Yeah, at the Rio Casino Hotel.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Some of the tricks I'd seen them do on telly.
Yeah.
But it was great seeing it. It was just really like...
Yeah.
Like, you're like, how the fuck are they doing that? But to see it live as well was just really
Yeah.
good. And actually, what was interesting, we sort of sat down and there was a pianist playing some like jazz, and there was a guy playing double bass, and it was like, that kind of looks like one of Penn and Teller playing the double bass. It was.
Right. Which one?
He's the tall one, Penn.
Oh, right, yeah.
He's a phenomenal double bass player, and he plays in this duo, and he was opening up for his own show.
Amazing.
I was like, this is... And then the pianist, he was older as well, probably in his 60s, 50, you know, and absolutely phenomenal. And then they had like video screens, so it had cameras on him that would prop up. And it was like, he's playing this amazing like jazz, you know. And it's like, you look at the camera closely, it's like he had hand tattoos and like neck tattoos and like those big looped earrings and stuff.
Yeah.
And he's like 60 playing jazz. And it's like, he's tattered up to the nines.
Yeah.
And then actually during the show, he actually would play some incidental music as part of the show.
Okay, cool.
It's really cool. But I was like, is that the best gig in Vegas? Like, that's his, for however long that residency is, months. He just turns up in the evening. Piano's already there. He's not having to lug that every day.
Loading.
Just turns up, bit of jazz while everyone sits down, bit in the show.
Yeah.
Job done. Probably earning a good whack. Bloody lovely, that.
Yeah, it would be cool, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Went
Vegas
to
residency.
the aquarium at the Mandalay Bay. Saw some sharks and
Cool.
stingrays. Yeah. Went to Tournament of Kings,
Right.
which was in the hotel we were in Excalibur. So we go downstairs and it's like medieval knights. There's a arena and you're
It's
all
not
sat
that-
round.
Where you have food as well.
Yeah, you have like
What's
a
that
chicken
called?
dinner. It's medieval knights. It's
Is
like
it?
the chain.
Right.
But this is a similar thing called Tournament of Kings.
Okay.
And there's like a play, but it's on like there's horses and
Yeah.
pyrotechnics, and you all sit round and have like a chicken dinner
Yeah.
and watch it. That was good fun.
Because I know of that because that's how. Do you remember that super group, them Crooked Vultures? Dave
Yeah.
Grohl, Josh Homme, John Paul Jones. That formed at one of those apparently.
Right.
Dave Grohl had his 40th birthday there, and he brought them two along. I thought that's quite cool, isn't it? Dave Grohl,
Yeah.
40th birthday at a medieval knight king show. So, yeah. Anything shocking about America right now?
No, I mean Vegas is just such a weird
It's a
place.
bubble, I guess.
Yeah, it's its own little bubble. It's just I've been before, but it's just that weird thing of like all the doors have like tints on them, so no daylight gets in,
Yeah.
and you can't see in. There's no clocks in there. There's no daylight in the casinos. One thing that was, I guess, kind of not shocking, but a bit surprising was like, oh, you can still smoke indoors in the casinos
Oh, cool.
on the only on the casino floor. But it was like, oh wow, haven't
Yeah.
seen smoking indoors for
No.
so long.
Yeah.
Do
Do you know there's no balconies in Las Vegas as well?
Yeah, didn't
Yeah.
see any.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I did have went to the Cheesecake Factory for lunch.
What did you have?
Well, actually, I had quesadillas and some like mini like burger slider things.
Right.
Tuck it into the quesadilla. It was really lovely, and I was like, oh, something's a bit off. That's just a big bit of plastic,
Right.
like
Yep.
plastic material in the food. It's like, oh, is everything all right? It's like, well, called the waitress over. It's like, so I just found this massive bit of plastic. Got the quesadillas for free, and then we had a bit of cheesecake,
Yeah, of course, yeah.
which was delicious.
Before, I just had the thought of you being in Cheesecake Factory. Like, I don't want any of it. Can you do something? Can I have a quesadilla? Like an annoying child. But I don't want cheesecake.
Yeah.
All right,
Well,
we'll
don't
see what
come
we
to
can
the
make.
Cheesecake Factory.
Yeah. I once was with someone and they found they were eating their burger and they just stopped eating. I was like, I thought you were hungry. Like, no, I might leave it. And it gets to the end of the meal. I was like, why didn't you have that? And showed me, and there was a staple in it. And I was like, ooh, that's not good. Just, it hadn't been stapled, an unstapled staple, just metal. And but that was in Spain, so
Yeah,
I'm not
makes
saying
sense.
anything goes. But there's cats on the tables in Spain, I had it also in I think it was Ask Italian last year. A waitress dropped a plate as she was walking by me.
Wait.
Yeah.
Did everyone do that?
Yeah. But a load of pasta sauce fell and just like went all over my shoes. And I didn't really care because they were pretty fucked anyway. And she was like, "Oh, I'm sorry," but I didn't know if she noticed. And I was like, "It's fine." And I wasn't asked, but at the end she was like, "Oh, by the way, your mains are free because I can see you got white shoes on." And I'd be livid. And I was like, "Oh, I didn't even know you noticed." So yeah, lovely.
Well, that's the thing. In those situations, I think you get two sorts of people. You get those who'll kick off.
The Karens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I no point in kicking off.
No.
I just say, "I'm really sorry, but there's a bit of plastic in here." And because I was nice about it, they're going to do something.
Yeah.
They're going to do something about it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Your quesadillas are free. Cheers.
This is it. And if you weren't nice about it, they still do something. Give it free, but they probably wipe their penises over it, over your cheesecake.
Yeah.
They go...
Yeah. I don't want anyone to dip their knob in my cheesecake.
Sometimes
there's
I feel
the episode title.
Yeah, I was going to say, so that you say things just to be the audiogram.
But yeah, had a lovely time, thank you. Yeah, very good.
Good.
Gutting to be back.
Well, not surprised. The old business rates.
Yeah. Stop dropping that in.
You said I'm not taking drumming seriously anymore, and it's all I can think about.
Well, let's talk about drums then.
I had a gig. We can talk about that.
Yeah.
Actually, you'll like this. I was very lazy. I had the least drum kit I've ever had. That works as a sentence, right? I had the least drum kit I've ever had.
Yeah.
Kick, floor tom, snare, hi-hat, crash.
Yeah.
That's it. Because we actually said that. Because the gig before, I had all that and a ride. But I used to ride like twice. And I was thinking, I can't be bothered to. And actually, it was better because you have the crash where the ride is. Easier access to the crash.
Yeah, it's quite nice there, isn't it?
It's lovely. Oh yeah, you've done that, haven't you? So but it was just quite full on, that gig, because well, I may as well talk about it on this episode. I had a first week where I was mixing work and gigs.
Yeah. How did that go?
Good, but I'm aware that it's going to be tough in the summer. So basically I worked, because the shifts are long shifts. It's not 9 to 5. You do your 40 hours in a week, but a lot of it's in the same time, and you do sleep-ins. So I did Tuesday from 3 p.m. until Thursday at 7 a.m. So I started on Tuesday.
He's crammed it in. He's crammed in the week's work.
So Monday off. Great. Do what you want. Chill out. Yeah. Tuesday morning off, basically. But yeah, Tuesday at 3, go in, you work till 10, and then you do a sleep-in. By the way, the sleep-in, everyone have been warning me about it, going, "Oh, by the way, you can't sleep here." Like, you'll hear doors slamming in the night and stuff like that, and I never sleep well. It was the best sleep I've ever had. It was amazing because you get your own room, obviously, and then you get your own sort of like shower room. And my God, I mean, it was beyond a power shower. It was just you get in there and it blasts you in the face. And Gavin and Stacey. And so I felt clean. I got into bed, slept amazing, and then woke up and then did it all again. And then you work from 7 a.m. till 10 p.m. and then did another sleep in. Woke up on Thursday morning, came back to my house, did bits I needed to do, then went and played the gig. It was only in Brighton, so it was okay. But I got a text, I think, while I was at the gig, and it was like, "By the way, can you come in at 7 rather than 7:30 tomorrow?" And I'm like, oh, fucking hell. So played the gig, finished at about 11:30, got home about 12:30, slept, woke up at 6, straight back into work, and then did 7 till 10, did another sleep in, and then woke up, came home, had a quick nap, and then went off to another gig, where this was a gig on guitar. And
what?
gig on guitar. I played a gig on the guitar.
You were playing guitar?
Yeah, in the Oasis tribute band that I played with before. So it was great because I played with the lads before, usually on bass, once on drums, but this time on guitar. And I kind of wanted to do it just to play Wonderwall live. I just thought it'd be funny, do you know? And it was. I was, I'm like, this is such a cliche, but it's funny. It's not like I was doing it ironically, but maybe I was a bit. But it was great fun. But it gets to a point with those gigs. I think it's because it's Oasis songs. The crowd are all just, pompy, like...
We can all picture them.
Yeah. Rough lads. And it got to Live Forever, which was, let's say, the 5th to last song. And I could see there was a couple... Like, everyone's really close to the stage. Like, some people are just walking on the stage and walking off. I'm like, fuck. Thankfully, I didn't have a pedal board, so there was no worry there. But there was this young couple, and the guy...
Don't need it.
Yeah, don't need
Clean
it.
crunch distortion, cheers.
But there was a guy, and when it's like there's a couple and it's the guy that's pissed, and then the girl's trying to, like... She's like apologising to everyone for him.
Oh, Gary.
And you're just like, just go home. Like, what are you...
I guarantee you someone in that room was called Gary.
Probably.
I guarantee you.
At least 2 members of the band are called Gary. But he kept falling over into this guy who was just getting really annoyed, and he was sort of looking at them, and then I could see it was about to kick off, and she was apologising, and then he sort of fell into the stage, and when they fall, when people fall into the PA, and you see, and you're like, if they fall more,
You see the lawsuit.
Yeah, exactly.
You see the letter. Yeah.
And I was thinking, as I was playing guitar, I was quite worried about this gig. I spent time charting it out and learning the chords and going, oh, have I got that chord
C, F,
right?
and G, innit?
Yeah, very much. Capo 2. And I was like...
Sure, if you want. Yeah.
And I've been thinking, what if I get a chord right? Suddenly, chords don't matter. Making sure, I was half playing and half watching to make sure a fight doesn't kick off. But I got to tell you this. Someone at the end... The gig went great. At the end of the gig, I was walking to my car, and there was a few people going, oh, fucking hell, my ears are ringing. And I sort of went, oh, sorry about that, And they were like, oh, no, it's all right, mate. It was brilliant. And then it was like, a young couple and their dad or something. And the dad started talking to me. Let's say he was like 60 or something. He goes, by the way, your singer, he needs to turn the echo off on his voice. And I was like, oh, it's not really my band, but I'll let him know. And he goes, I used to be in a band. All right, yeah.
God.
Yeah. He came out with the best line ever of, I used to be in a band and I'm jealous of you line. He said, and we used to play gigs. And when we played a gig, we used to get the mix perfect every time. and I was like, that's amazing. I laughed because I was like, fucking hell, like, are you jealous? What do you want? What do you want me to say to that? Oh, what, really, mate? Well done, But, yeah. It was a long old week.
That's the sort of person who misses training because they're pissed.
Exactly. And then blames other people,
Yeah.
But, so I had a gig on guitar. But it is only Oasis.
Well, I'm glad someone out there is getting the mix perfect every time.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Exactly. But, yeah. Should we wrap it up?
Yeah, might as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll shit another one of these out
and, immediately after this.
Yeah, we don't want to give everything away.
No.
But anyway, yeah, thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed our recent run of interviews.
Yeah.
Jay Sakura. That was good, wasn't it?
That was good. And Emily Davis will be out.
Dolan Davis, yeah. I hope you've enjoyed that one as well. And little
James Gillingham
in the middle.
Let's not forget about him.
Yeah. Well, let's just mention it because you posted on the old socials.
Yeah.
Sprite challenge.
I was thinking I'll save that for next week because that's all I've got left. But
yeah.
Do you want to save it?
Well, save it. We'll save it. We'll save it. We'll do half an hour on the Sprite challenge.
All right. Bye.
Yeah. Email, Twitter,
Instagram,
and all that. Check it out. Get in touch.
Mm.
Yeah. Cheers. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Drum and Drummer. You can find us on Instagram at Drum and Drummer Podcast. And you can send us an email to drumanddrummerpod@gmail.com. Remember, just pick up the sticks and twat it.